Hello, listeners, and welcome to Randomocity. I'm your host, Rand. No, Rand is not short for anything. I take that back. I am. Who am I kidding? Y'all can't see what I look like anyway. But that's beside the point. If my name was short for anything, it would be Random, or in this case, Randomocity. As a recap from last episode, I just talked about my favorite movies that had to deal with pilots. If you haven't listened to it, I would encourage you to go back and do that. If you have listened to it, I would encourage you to listen to it a second time. Speaking of time, no, not that far back. We're going to go back to 1987. A lot of my fans have requested I do my top 5 favorite 1987 movies. That's a lot of numbers, I know. So I can't say no to that. Anyway, let's dive into this. Here are my top 5 favorite 1987 movies and why.
And here we go.
So in no particular order. What am I kidding? Let's do it in order from good to best. Now, some of these movies you probably never heard of, and some of you probably weren't even alive by 1987. But I was, and that's all that matters. Coming in at number 5, we have The Lost Boys. This is one of the few perfect examples of summer 80s horror movies. Vampires are probably one of my favorite monsters, not to be confused with the sparkling kind. You know what I'm talking about. Not a lot of people know this, but this movie loosely references Peter Pan. I say loosely because of the said title and the watered-down theme that comes with it. I think I'll do an episode on that later. I'm actually writing a script loosely based on the book Peter Pan, but having Peter Pan be a vampire. I'm not going to give too much details on it because I'm debating if I want to make it into a feature film or I'll make a full episode on it, once the script is finalized, of course. Coming in at number 4, this probably should be number 3 because of the title, but it's called 3 Men and a Baby. I have fond memories of this movie. It's a great family film for all ages. It has an awesome soundtrack, especially a song Daddy's Girl by Peter Cetera. Not only is it a great movie, but it spawned a great sequel. Speaking of that, it was announced back in June of 2010 that Disney was going to make a threequel titled 3 Men and a Bride. Sadly, no recent updates other than in 2013 it was listed as being in development. So here's hoping. And if you can't see what I'm doing right now, I'm crossing my fingers. Coming in at number 3 is The Monster Squad. This may not be everybody's favorite when they're coming up with a monster movie that they like, but at the time when I was younger, I quite enjoyed it. Granted, it was a little corny, but it still had some funny one-liners.
My name is Horace. Take him in the north! Take him in the north! He doesn't have north! Do it! Do it! Wolfman's got nards! Come on! Come on!
Funny random fact. The CGI design for the Incredible Hulk in the Avengers movie, Hulk wasn't designed to have kids, if you know what I mean. But now the question is, would kicking the Hulk in the nards make him angry? Anyway, going back to the Monster Squad, the cool part about this movie is that the director pitched the idea that he wanted to have Little Rascals versus classic Universal monsters. I'm also thinking of writing another script similar to the Monster Squad, but I'm having it be a modern Wizard of Oz story with Universal monsters in it, and they have to deal with the world coming to an end. Coming in at number 2, we have Spaceballs. Mel Brooks is the master of parodies. His take on making a space opera into a comedy is pure gold. I just hope that the sequel will be just as good, if not better. They seriously need to bring back Rick Moranis, even just as a simple cameo would suffice. So we'll see what happens with the new installment. Coming in at the number 1 spot is The Princess Bride. Surprise! This movie is such a quotable movie. It is my all-time favorite. Great actors, perfect dialogues, and a tremendous score.
At Vicini, he can fuss.
Fuss. Think you like to scream at us?
Probably he means no harm.
He's really very short on charm.
have a great gift for Ryan.
Yes, yes. Some of the time.
Enough of that! Fezzik, are there rocks ahead?
If they are, we all be dead.
No more rhymes now, I mean it!
Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah!
If Hollywood decides to do a remake of this, I will riot. It just can't be done. It truly is a classic. In my opinion, you should only remake movies that were horrible from the beginning, and just see if you can make it even better, or a lot better in that case. The only exception is if you want to make like an interesting spin on it, like modernize it for today's society or something similar to that, then maybe you'll be okay. But for the most part, if the movie sucked the first time around, then you can make a remake of it and try to make it better.
Oh, and you can do better, can you?
Of course I can.
But if it sucked horribly that should not be made at all, then just don't touch it. Just as simple as that.
Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me!
Well, that's my list, and thanks for listening. Tune in with me next time where I will be talking about connections I found between Peter Pan and Black Panther. If you can't tell, I'm making the Wakanda sign. Or is it the X-Force sign? I'll let you be the judge. Until next time.
I'll be back.